Ghouls creep and crawl at night, eating everything in sight. In a snap, they'd eat you too, chop you up for a ghoulish stew. Ghouls belong to a class of monsters known as necrophages, creatures that feed on corpses. They are most commonly found in cemeteries, crypts, battlefields, and mass graves, generally places with lots of corpses. After the Northern Wars and many thousand soldiers dying because of it, these creatures multiplied rapidly, feasting on the aftermath of human conflict. In The Witcher 3, ghouls are actually the first monsters that you fight. Geralt and Vesemir talk about how unattended corpses, result of the war, have made the ghouls go wild. Physically, ghouls resemble twisted, hunched humanoids. Their bodies are lean but powerful, built for tearing flesh rather than running prey down. Their claws are long, sharp, and perfectly suited for ripping through decaying bodies, or sometimes living ones. Despite their horrifying appearance, ghouls are not mindless beasts. They are primarily scavengers, preferring to feed on the dead rather than hunt. However, when corpses grow scarce, ghouls will turn on travelers, soldiers, or villagers, especially those who wander alone. It's just that they don't actively hunt, but they wouldn't say no to a meal that walks in itself. Ghouls rarely attack solo. They hunt in packs, using numbers to overwhelm their victims. Their preferred tactic is simple and brutal. Knock the target to the ground, surround them, and tear them apart. They are sensitive to light and fire, which is why they are most active at night or in dark enclosed spaces like crypts. If ghouls are scavengers, alghouls are predators. Alghouls are more advanced and dangerous variants of ghouls. They are larger, stronger, and noticeably more intelligent. Their skin is darker, their posture more confident, and their presence often signals that a pack is well organized. Unlike regular ghouls, alghouls often develop a strong taste for living human flesh. Over time, they stop relying on corpses altogether and begin actively hunting. They are capable of coordinating attacks, setting ambushes, and directing other necrophages. A pack led by an alghoul is far deadlier than a group of ghouls acting alone. In many cases, when travelers go missing near battlefields or old cemeteries, an alghoul is a true culprit. That said, a ghoul is more than capable of hunting travelers, farmers, or unarmed people in general. So if you're not a witcher, you have to be really careful where you step. In combat, alghouls are significantly more dangerous. They can unleash piercing screams that disorients enemies and drive nearby ghouls into frenzy. When enraged, alghouls can cause bone-like spines to erupt from their bodies, making close-quarter combat extremely risky. This ability turns their own flesh into a weapon, punishing anyone who strikes carelessly. Even experienced witchers treat alghouls with caution. The true origin of ghouls remain uncertain. However, in the bestiary of Witcher 1, it was said, ghouls are said to have been humans who were once forced into cannibalism and, after many years spent in dark crypts, underwent a horrifying transformation. Only human flesh can satisfy their eternal evil hunger, so they kill people and store the remains in the recess of their lairs. Ghouls, like many other Witcher monsters, have their roots in real-world mythology. And for this episode, we are traveling into Arabic myth. But before we do that, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the Witcher monster lore, consider liking this video and subscribing for more. That really helps boost the channel, and with that said, let's continue. In ancient Arabic folklore, Ghoul was believed to be an evil spirit connected to the jinn, living in deserts, graveyards, ruins, and other abandoned places. Early legends described the ghoul as female, and it was sometimes confused with another supernatural creature called the Sela, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. However, unlike the Sela, which always kept the same form, the ghoul was feared for its ability to constantly change shape. It could appear as a beautiful woman, an old traveler, an animal, or even a familiar person in order to trick victims. Ancient stories also claim that even though a ghoul could disguise itself, one feature never changed: its donkey-like hooves, which revealed its true nature. The ghoul was especially feared by travelers crossing the deserts of North Africa, the Middle East, and Central Asia. According to legends, it would lure people away from safe roads, confuse them in the wilderness, and then kill and eat them. Ghouls were also known as grave robbers that fed on dead bodies in cemeteries. Some stories described female ghouls pretending to be a harmless woman or a long-lost relative in order to gain the trust of lonely travelers. In many tales, the only way to kill a ghoul was to strike it down with one powerful blow, because a second strike could bring it back to life. Those creatures became a major part of Arabic folklore used to frighten disobedient children. As the legend spread into Europe, the image of ghoul slowly changed. In Europe folklore, ghouls became more like undead monsters connected to graveyards and cannibalism. They were said to have once been human beings who cursed themselves by eating human flesh, whether dead or alive. European ghouls were described as ugly, foul-smelling creatures with immense strength, known for abducting children and attacking unwary people in abandoned places. Unlike the more supernatural and shape-shifting ghouls of Arabic mythology, European versions were often portrayed as corpse-eating undead beings. Over time, the word ghoul also became a term for someone fascinated by death or horror, and the creature eventually became popular in Gothic literature, horror films, fantasy stories, and modern games. And that is the lore of ghouls and alghouls in The Witcher. Thank you for watching this video, and let me know in the comments which monster you want me to cover next time. Until then, take care.